Good afternoon. How are you all doing? It's nice out. I just left the gym. I'm trying to get fit. Trying to get fit and stay fit, Trying to get my mind right, chosen ones. How are you all doing? I'm by the pool area. Look, it's my 1 month lockversary. Had my locks for 1 month. I'm excited. I get retwist tomorrow. I'm excited about my little journey. I was thinking about making another channel, um, just locks and more. What do you all think? Think I should start another channel, locks and more? The 13th was my lockversary, 1 month lockversary. Hello, Club Wilkerson. How are you? How are you doing? And this is a responsibility channel, but I do have a lot of men that follow this channel. I have a lot of men that follow this channel, and but I talk, mostly to women because I'm a woman. I don't know about how men, I'm not a man, so I can't, you know, talk from your perspective. But I do have this channel. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, this message can be quick. I always say I'm gonna be quick, and then I'll be out here forever chit chatting. Be out here chit chatting forever. But listen, chosen ones, I want to come talk to you all because there's like a you know there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm a person that like to look within. That's why this channel is called the Responsibility Channel, where we look at ourselves and take responsibility for our own happiness, success, and freedom. And it's all about looking inward, right? Hi, Tarinia. I hope I see you Saturday. Will I be seeing you Saturday at 7? I think you did, so you registered. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. But what I wanted to come talk about is, you know, and this is something that I know a lot of people need to hear, especially women. We need to hear this because, we were taught to be sacrificial. We were taught to be sacrificial lambs for everyone, our children, our spouses, family, parents. We're just taught to sacrifice ourselves for the happiness and the betterment of everyone else, you know? And I don't think that's healthy anymore. I don't think that's a mindset we need to be in as women where we're sacrificing so much of ourselves to, and there's nothing wrong with, listen, don't take my message and twist it and chop it up. And I don't care if you do anyways, but don't take my message and don't take my words and twist them and see them from your twisted perspective. This is just my opinion, right? This is my belief and this is my opinion. Everyone has the right to their opinion. No one has the right to silence someone because of their opinion. You find things that work for you, right? But what I'm saying for the women, it is not healthy and it is not wise for you to sacrifice, be the sacrificial lamb mentally for people when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not showing yourself self care and self love. Self love is having boundaries with people and with things. Because we think self love is tolerating people foolishness. That's what we think. That's what we think self love is. Self love. The society makes self love seems like it's tolerating people foolishness. That you gotta suffer long with people in their foolishness. That's not self love. Self love is boundaries. Self love is having boundaries with people, letting people know, listen, You can't do this to me. Not you can't. You can do it, but I won't allow you. You won't be doing it here, whatever that is, whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, whatever it is that's stressing you out. We have to stop this as women. We have to stop giving people chances and chances and chances. Whether it's relationship, whether it's your children. Exactly. It is okay. Because I love my babies. I love my children. I love hard. But one thing I've learned over time is I am not going to sacrifice my mental health. I'm not going to sacrifice my well being, my sleep, especially if they're of age. I'm not going to sacrifice myself just to say, I'm just that mom. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sacrifice myself just to say, oh, they toughen it out, through thick and thin. No, 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 no. I'm not going to do that. There is something called boundaries. When you learn and you grow and you know better, it's time to do better. It's time to do better. Self care and self love, although it's different and both are needed, self care is doing those things that you enjoy doing. You shouldn't have to stop being, you shouldn't have to stop doing the things that you love, right? Because somebody is upset, because somebody is mad, because you're with someone. Thank you, Stephanie. Because you're with someone who don't have a social life, or you know who someone who's just you know don't have the same hobbies, or don't like doing things. You shouldn't have to stop doing the things that you like. My thing is, before, and I talk to my daughters about this. I tell my daughters, because society makes it feel like, society, especially with a lot of foolishness I see online, they make it seem like it's a problem being alone. They make it feel like it's a problem because you don't have a partner, or you're not married, or you chose to live a single life, or you're happy by yourself. Society makes it feel like make you feel like if you don't have anybody, you're incomplete. What's foolish is thinking somebody else is going to complete you. That's what's foolish. But I teach my daughters to find out who you are. I teach my babies and my sons, if they want to listen, to find out who you are. Why do you always feel like you got to need somebody to make you complete? That comes from a spirit of abandonment and rejection. That's a codependent spirit where you feel like you need somebody to make you whole. No, if you have a mindset that you need somebody to complete you, you need healing. You need healing. You're talking to someone who used to be that way. You don't need anyone to complete you. You need to be whole within yourself before you get with anyone else, because it's not going to be fair to that person, and it's not going to be fair to you. You need to make sure you are complete within yourself, happy and content within yourself. And people hate when you're content. People hate when you are content within yourself and you don't need a woman, or you don't need a man to complete you. People have a problem with that. People have a problem with you being content in where you are. And if God wants you to be with someone, He'll send you a partner. He'll send you he who finds a wife. He'll send someone to find you. Not you looking and you presenting yourself to be found. No, be content and happy within yourself first. Be content, because people don't know how to be content and happy. That's why so many people are divorcing nowadays. That's why divorce is on all time high. And the pandemic didn't make it no better. The pandemic didn't make it better because people have got in relationships and they don't know themselves. They got in relationships with no vision, don't know who they are. They don't know the purpose of being with the person. They don't know the purpose of the family. They have no mission, no direction on where they taking the family, but just to be in the presence of someone with no vision, no purpose, no goals, no nothing. Just to say I'm with the partner. Just to say somebody's washing my clothes or cooking my meals or we go to work every day, home with the kids. What is the vision? What are you working towards every day? What is the purpose of the family? What is the legacy? What is the blueprint? What is the 1 year plan for the family? What is the 2 year plan for the family? 3 year, 4 year, 5 year? What is the legacy? What are we leaving just to be together? I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. When you wake up, I told you I had awakening. I had awakening in 2020. When I tell you when I woke up, I woke all the way up. Like a lot of the stuff just don't make sense. You just with someone, you miserable. The person is miserable. You're not happy. You just pay bills, right? You just pay bills. You come home. You don't communicate. You don't have no interest. You don't have the same interest. The only interest y'all have is the children. That's not a life to live. That's not a life to live. You don't worship God together. The marriage is sexless, so that's not the reason. Like, what is the purpose? It's foolishness. Like, what is the plan? Just to say you've been together, because people say, "Well, I've been together with my person for 30 years, 46 years, 50 years." And what have you accomplished in those 30, 40, 50 years other than material things? What are you leaving? What legacy are you leaving for your family? If you died today, what do all those years mean? What did we teach our children in these 50 years we were together? Did we teach them how to be together for 50 years unhappy, dysfunctional? Of course, nothing is perfect, but what is in the 50 years? What substance are in the 50 years? Are in the 40 years? What lessons were taught that can live beyond you other than dysfunction? Is what was wealth built in them 50 years? What is the blueprint? What's the legacy? What was built in these 50 years that we spent on this earth together as a married couple? What will our children inherit? Like what was built, or it's just wasted time. As if we've been together 40 years is a badge of honor. If the 40 years were just loveless, dysfunctional, no legacy built, like what's the purpose? What's the purpose? Longevity doesn't mean legacy. Longevity doesn't mean legacy. That's what I need to probably change the title to. Or you just going through the longevity emotions, the motion of just what's the purpose? There's no happiness, there's no joy, there's no unity. You're not enjoying each other. Misery. There's no partnership. Nobody's relating. One person always mad and grumpy. The other person want to do things. It's like, what is the purpose? One person feels stuck like they doing prison time. Like there's no purpose if there's no unity. There's no partnership. And you don't have to be all religious to be in the partnership because some of the religious partnerships are the most miserable. That's why you need God and not religion in your marriage. He said him, not religion. Like, what is the purpose? Like, you're just doing time for what? Oh, we've been married 43 years. Is it 43 years of partnership or somebody's doing time in the pen in the marriage? Like, we got to rethink some of this stuff. And yes, marriage is a beautiful thing. I never speak down on marriage. But is it a partnership? Is it a partnership? That's why people are not getting married because they're looking at some of the married folks and they're just as miserable, always complaining. One person grumpy, the other person, you know, live lively. Some people just like the some people just like what marriage represent, but they don't want to be committed. They don't understand the importance of marriage because we were not taught. I got married young and didn't understand the importance of it. That's why I can speak so well on it. Didn't understand the importance of it. I just knew that's what you were supposed to do. No one taught me how to choose and you know what's the best partner, but you live and learn because none of us was really prepared. It was only a small percentage that was really prepared, was taught to be prepared for a right partner. People need to know who they are before they get married. Before they say I do, make sure you know you. I got a book that I'm working on. I've been working on a book for a while now. Way about 2 years now. And the book is called 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Said I Do. And it came to me in my spirit. It'll be an ebook. Ebook. I feel like it's the time to release it. But it's 10 things I wish I knew. But when you don't know, that's why you can teach someone else. You can teach someone else not to make the same mistakes you made, or you can learn from your mistakes. Because I'm very transparent. Some things I don't talk about until I'm released, because you can't really talk about all your business online. You have to be um you got to be what that thing called. You got to be reserved. Everything is not for everyone online, but certain things when I'm led to release, I have to say it. People need to understand that if you don't know who you are, that's why I don't agree with some people say yes and some people say no. It all depends. But my opinion is I don't think a person should get married young. I don't think they should get married before 25. Even later than that, it depends on how mature you are. But I feel like people need to get to know themselves first. And why is the world so pressure and pressing people to feel complete when they get someone. No, you should be complete within yourself first. Know who you are first. You got to know who you are. No one outside of you can complete you. No one outside of you going to make you feel no better than you are. It should be two whole people getting together to form a partnership. You got to know who you are. You got to live your life. You got to know who you are first. Heal your traumas. Heal before you get into a relationship. If you know you got, and see, this is what most people do. Most people are not healed because we all experience trauma. Most people have not done the work on themselves. Most people have not gone to therapy or got a coach or dealt with their traumas. So when they get with someone, they're taking their traumas in that relationship. And don't mess around and get with someone who have not dealt with their trauma. You're dysfunctional and they're dysfunctional. So like I said before, that's a romantic disaster. A disaster waiting to happen. Heal yourself first. Deal with your own stuff. When you heal yourself and when you know who you are, you will avoid getting into certain relationships. You'll avoid hooking up with certain people because when you're dysfunctional and when I won't say dysfunctional, when you're unhealed, you see from your unhealed, you see from your eyes, vision. You don't see the world with clear lenses. You see the world through dysfunctional lenses. And what is love to you is only dysfunction because you don't know what love is. Love is not someone getting you gifts. Love is not someone love bombing you, getting you gifts, doing all the things you want them to do. That's not love. Half of the people don't know what love is. Love is truth. People who love is truth. It's truth, it's patient, it's kind, it's not boastful, don't brag. All those things in the Bible, what it say love is. That's love. But love is truth. Love is speaking the truth. When you see someone going down the road that is detrimental, love is pulling them to the side and correcting them. Love is not enablement. Love is not affirming dysfunctional behavior. Love is not gaslighting and all this craziness, dysfunction, and up and down and round and around, in and out. 1 minute you love them, next minute you don't. That's not love. That's dysfunction. That's just two. If you're going through that, that's just two unhealed people who need to heal and deal with themselves as individuals. Because we think connecting with someone is going to resolve all of our traumas and issues. No, it's going to just make it worse. I tell young folks, enjoy your life before you become a mom, before you become a wife. Know who you are first, so you can be a loving parent, so you can be an understanding parent. Because most women, we know how to be moms. Most women know how to be mothers, but most don't know how to be wives. And that's because we don't know who we are. We can be a mom, we know that, but we don't know who we are. We think our identity, some of us, are is in, we think we think being married, some women being married or being with a partner completes them. That's not true. That's why divorce is on an all-time high. They found that out quick. Your completion is in Christ, and you got to know that. You got to know that your completion is in God. He's your creator. Once you realize that, then you can be a happy wife. Then you can be a happy mother. Once you heal yourself and become whole and complete in Christ, you will understand life a whole lot better because he's the only one can fill those voids that you have. Because a lot of men and women are walking around here voided, mommy wound, daddy wounds, not dealing with their childhood traumas, and it's just void. They got holes all in them, and they're looking for things. That's why people get addicted. That's why people. You know what's another thing I'm telling you? This is another thing that's ruining marriages right now. I'm gonna say this because it's on my heart to say it, and I don't want YouTube to take this down. So the thing that rhymes with corn that starts with the P is destroying a lot of marriages, destroying a lot of relationships, and that's the number one reason this perversion and this confusion is on the rise. That corn is ruining lives of people, men and women, because I think more women were addicted to that than anything. I think more women were addicted than men the last time I checked. And it is destroying because especially in the men. And the reason being because when you subject yourself to that, when you subject yourself to that, you got to understand this is why this spirit of dysfunction and confusion and identity. Because when you're watching that foolishness, you're sitting there, your mind does not know what's real and what's not. This is why so many men are confused in their personality, in who they are, because you're sitting there watching another man, and I'm gonna say it because it needs to be said. You're sitting there watching another man, and your mind. We don't think about stuff like this, you know. You sitting there as a man, you're sitting there watching another male on the screen, where your brain does not know if you're watching something real or fake. You're watching something, um, not fake, but watching something. Your brain doesn't know if it's happening for real or you're watching an act. And that's a spirit. That spirit, the more you watch it and it gets in your subconscious mind, that spirit is being released on you. And then you start having these tendencies and desires. That's why most of these men are going nuts. They got these desires because this spirit of perversion is being released on these men, driving them psycho. Now they're confused and they're desiring another male. It's the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Yes, it is. And that's why it's running rampant. And this spirit of lust is taking over the world because we're not guarding what we put into our eye gates. The enemy knows it too. Same thing he's been using against humanity. the visual. That's why these phones so dangerous now because it's so accessible. Back in the days, you had to go rent, go rent a cassette or a DVD. Now it's right on your phone. You can just pull it up and it's available. Insta, Insta lust right here on your phone. Insta perversion right on your phone. And people don't understand they're opening the doors to so many spirits. They're opening the doors to so many spirits and causing issues in marriages, causing issues in children. Because one thing about this spirit that people must know, that lustful spirit, you can never satisfy it. You can never satisfy that lustful spirit. That's why one woman is not enough. One man is not enough. That's why people got to go have two and three wives, and people got to cheat on their spouses because that spirit of lust is never enough. Hey Michelle, haven't seen you in a while. That spirit is never enough. That's why you open that spirit of lust and you start out just watching corn. Then you go to watching corn. That's why bestiality is on the rise again. Do your research. Do your research. Bestiality is on the rise because that spirit of lust cannot be quenched unless you be delivered. Unless you be delivered. Because it's never enough. Then that spirit don't been loose, let go in marriages or in relationships. And now you doing things that you never thought you would do. You compromising your values and your morals because you want to please somebody with a lustful spirit. And it'll never be enough. It will, when I tell you, when you're dealing with a person who got a lustful spirit, whatever you do will never be enough. Never compromise your morals and values. If the way God created man and woman to be intimate, a husband and wife, if that is not enough, that person needs to be delivered from that spirit of perversion because that should be enough. You shouldn't have to be trying all these different ways. Some people may disagree, but I'm telling you what the spirit is saying. You shouldn't have to do all those different things to please somebody. That means they're dealing with a spirit of lust. Because have you ever noticed, some of you all have compromised your morals and integrity. You don't went to some crazy degrees. You have went to the extent to please a partner because we were taught what's in the room or the marriage bed is undefiled and all this crazy, right? Some of y'all don't went to some of y'all ashamed. Y'all don't went to some crazy degrees to try to please a person who got a spirit of lust on them, and you can't please that spirit of lust. That's a spirit that can't be quenched. And people talking about you please this person, please your wife, please your husband by doing all these crazy sexual things, right? Look, check this out. How crazy is this? That's why I say this is a spirit. You did all that craziness. You don't had a whole animal form, nastiness. Somebody need to hear that. And I'm just being a little extra, like I always do. You don't did all that craziness. You don't went to certain degrees, and y'all still divorced. Y'all still divorced. But you trying to please a spirit of lust, you will never be able to please that spirit. Remember that. You will never be able to please a spirit of lust. That spirit has to be delivered. That spirit has to be submitted, and that person has to want to be. That person has to want to be delivered from that spirit. Because some people don't want to be delivered from that spirit. You doing all that craziness, running behind this person, trying to satisfy them. What society says, what Big Mama say, please your man and don't let your man this. No, that man got a spirit of lust, Big Mama. Do this, do that. No, no. Because whatever that person want to do, I don't care what you do. You could hang from off the Statue of Liberty, fly down and do a somersault, a split, and flip back up on some stiletto heels. When that person got a spirit of lust on them, I don't care what you do. It'll never be enough. You can take care of the house. You can cook good, keep the house clean. You will never be able to compete against the spirit of lust. Ask somebody who know. Go ask any person who had to compete with the spirit of lust. You'll never be able to compete with that. If they're not going to submit that spirit to God, you won't be able to complete with it. You'll be driving yourself crazy. Some of these women, some of y'all taking antidepressants and you depressed because you're trying to satisfy a person who can't be satisfied because they're dealing with the spirit and they're too prideful to say they're dealing with the spirit and to submit themselves to God so God can deliver them. You fighting a spirit of lust and they'll project all that foolishness on you. You're not doing enough. You're not a good wife. You're not this. No, you demon. You need to be delivered. That's what you need to do. You don't do this. You don't. Everything is your fault. Your fault as a spouse. You to blame for everything. You don't do this. You don't. You lazy. You this. You that. And you spinning your wheels. You trying to come up with all kind of things. You praying. You fasting. You doing everything. Only to be. Only to come to the realization you can't be the spirit of lust. They got that's them. They got their own demons they dealing with. They got their own demons, and they got to be the one to want to deal with them demons, driving yourself crazy because they don't want to face their issues. But you the problem. Y'all better wake up. That's what this equal a yoke is. See, women think you see women when they get with situations because we just think we so powerful. You're not more powerful than God. I'm sorry. Your situation with somebody else's situation. We think we could pray people through and we can change folks. No, people got to be, you got to let folks be delivered first. Let them be delivered before y'all get together. That's why God tell y'all to wait to have sex to get married. But we don't want to do that. We want to do it our way because we so lustful and we ready, we so hot and ready. We grown over here. We so hot and ready, we can't wait because we want to scratch that itch. And you too busy trying to scratch that itch. You're not looking at truth. If a person can't wait, that means they're dealing with the spirit of lust. They are battling. And when you connect with them on that spiritual level, because having intimacy is a spiritual thing, you're going to be battling with the same thing. You're going to take on their demons. You're going to be battling. You're going to take on their thought processes. We don't think this thing is deep. It's very deep. It's very deep. You're going to take on them fights. You never struggle with that perversion and lust for spirit till you start being intimate with them. You never been battling so much in your mind. You had your issues, But you never been under so much warfare in your mind until you got intimate with them, because it's a transference of spirit. Their demons become your demons, and vice versa. I just got to tell the truth, shame the devil. I just got to speak the truth. I got to speak the truth. That's why so many people are battling mental health issues. I said this before, and I stand by this. They are battling because they got all these different spirits up in them from different people. Get out of one relationship, get into another one, and that person haven't gotten delivered. That person haven't consecrated their body. That person haven't dealt with their issues. They don't jump and went with someone else, and now all them spirits transferring to you, and you wonder why you wake up and you are not in your right mind. You just feel off today. You feel like, where are these thoughts coming from? They're coming from Tyrone. That's where they're coming from. Poor Tyrone. Poor Tyrone and Keisha. We always use them as an example. It's just the truth. Nobody's perfect. You learn this stuff over time. But once you get it, you get it. Once you get it, you get it. People don't understand how deep it is. It's deep. Some people say it don't take all that. It takes all that. It is. Once you have been struggling, fighting, you'll realize, hey, I'm not gonna. It don't take me. It don't take me two. It don't take me three times to get stuff. It don't take me. You gotta learn. It don't take time. What President Bush said: "Fool me, fool me once, shame on me. Fool, fool me twice, won't fool me again." It's a little infamous viral saying. But yeah, we gotta do better. We gotta learn to know who we are. That's the whole thing. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, what you won't tolerate, having boundaries, and cutting anyone off who tries to go past your boundaries. If you tell a person you're not into something or you don't do this, or and they cross those boundaries, that's a person who is not going to respect you. If you tell a person you waiting for marriage to be intimate, and they trying to get you over to, to pass your boundaries, because people, you got people out there don't like to be told no, and they don't like folks with boundaries. If you tell somebody, I'm practicing celibacy, and they try to intentionally get you alone and try to be with you, they don't respect you. They don't respect your boundaries. Cut them off with no explanation. Block, delete, remove. There's nothing wrong with dating. Dating doesn't mean that, and this what's wrong with society. Think that dating always mean that you have to end up in the bed somewhere. No, that's not dating. You don't always have to give up yourself. That's why you got to make sure people are on the same page with you before you meet them in person. What is your definition of dating? Just because we date, that don't mean that you get to put your lips on me. That don't mean you get to, take me to your house. That's all this is a date. And to eliminate that for you all who want to get married, say you on a date to marry. You on a date for possible mates. Yeah, I on a date for a possible mate. If you're not looking to get married, no, it's not. I won't be dating. That's how you have to do that. You eliminate people. But you can't be in desperation. Some people are so desperate. And let me tell you something, women. I'm gonna tell you this. When you have that scent of desperation, it's like perfume. People can sniff that out on you when you're desperate. That's why you have to heal so you won't be in a place of desperation. You can say no without feeling like, oh, I lost my chance. When you are in God, you will never lose your chance. When you adapt the kingdom mind and you do things God way, you will never lose your chance. It's when you do things your way when you lose your chance or you get into it. When you'll get into an Ishmael relationship. Which one was the promise? Ishmael? No, Ishmael was the cursed one. You get your Ishmael instead of waiting on Isaac. But you got to be patient. You got to, if you desperate and you feel like time is running out, you need to do some healing. You need to do some healing. You need to take the time re- restraints and stop listening to the world. Take the time restraints off and the limits off of when God is going to send your mate, if that's what you desire. But everybody don't desire your mate. Some people been road and don't want to do anything and do anything else with it. And they've come, um, they have what is it? Come to terms, but they're going to live alone, and that's okay. I was watching I think it was the Delaney sisters. They lived up to be 80 something years old. They never married, never been in a relationship. That was their choice. Stop having this spirit and this scent of desperation. And there are a lot of people who are content. People are not pressed to be in relationships. There are people out there enjoying their lives, single, and it's okay. That's their choice. Let people have make their choices without making them feel bad because they're deciding they don't want to be married. They're deciding they don't want to have children. That's their choice. What's wrong with people making their choices? They may have their reasons. You don't know how they were brought up. You don't know their upbringing. You don't know if they had miscarriages. Stop asking people when they're getting married, when they're having children. That's none of your business. That's none of people's business. People trying to make you feel bad because you're not married. Evidently, the married folks are not setting a good example. Folks don't want to be getting married, and the married folks miserable. Look, divorces left and right. People don't want to get married if they're. And see, the reason that there are no happy marriages, I believe, people don't know who they are. They're not doing it God's way. They're not saving themselves first. They're testing the waters. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I can be wrong. That's my opinion. My opinion is I believe they're test driving the car before they drive it. And that's causing a lot of issues. If they haven't gotten delivered, if they haven't gotten delivered, them relationships are not going to last. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. They need to be delivered before they get in relationships because there's too much going on. Look how many people are losing their lives. How many women are losing their lives over foolishness because they're being rejected, because they want to move on, because they are saying no. And it's sad. Very sad. Very sad. But that's what I want to come talk to you all about. Self love. You know, I get on to talk about all kind of other stuff. But self love and self care, knowing who you are, knowing who you are, and being content. That contentment is a powerful thing. People will hate you when you're content. When you finally realize being celibate, when you finally realize learning who you are is a thing. Because some of you all have been in relationships. You never been by yourself. And the way you were taught to relate was error. You were taught to relate in error, which means you were not taught the right way. You learned behaviors of what you were displayed. And what you were displayed is wrong. Most women were taught to sacrifice, to be sacrificial. And we wear sacrificing as a badge of honor. That's not a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor. And when I mean sacrifice, I'm not meaning you sacrificing for your children. You stop because I know when I used to party, when I started having children, I used to club my younger days. Everyone never, partied like that. I used to party. But when I got pregnant at 19, I got pregnant at 19 with my first child. I knew as a mom that was something I couldn't do anymore. I knew as a mother that those clubbing days had to be out the door because my son didn't ask to be in this world. He didn't ask to be here. So I had to sacrifice the things that I wanted to do, which I've been start partying too early anyways. So that life didn't owe me anything. But it was my duty to be there, be my son's mother, and not put him off on everybody. I'm not meaning sacrificing like that because them kids didn't ask to be here. It's your job to take care of your children. But what I mean is you sacrificing your health. You're not getting your regular checkups. You're not going to the dentist because you're just so tied up with everybody else stuff. You got to make a grown adult. You managing your husband's schedule. You raising you raising a whole male, a whole human, grown up. You can't raise no grown up. They got to be responsible for themselves. You trying to make sure they take care of their health, and you sacrificing yours. That's foolishness. No, no, no. That's not how it goes. You can remind them, but you shouldn't have to be fighting with an adult for them to take care of their own health. No. And unfortunately, some people was raised for someone else to do everything for them, and it doesn't go that way. We're all adults. We need to be responsible for our own stuff. It is too much, especially if you're a working mother. For a working mother, it is too much to take on the responsibility of managing another adult when you have children you got to take care of. Stop feeling guilty because you can't manage everybody. Unguilt yourself. Unguilt yourself because you can't manage a full functioning adult, and yourself and the household. You're carrying the emotional weight of the family. People don't understand how much weight a mother carries. I'm not talking about a man because I don't know feelings of a man. I don't know what they go through. I'm just talking about women because I'm a woman. But people don't know the emotional weight a mother carries to manage a household, to try to be a wife, to be. It's a lot, especially if they working. If they working and paying half of the bills, on top of having to come home and cook, manage the kids, helping them with their homework, they making all the doctor's appointments. That's a weight. That's a weight that that is a weight that's heavy to carry. And if there is no healthy balance, that could drive you crazy. You need a healthy balance. You need a healthy balance. Yes, you do. You need a healthy balance as a woman. You need a healthy balance of having your friends, a support system, doing things that you like to do. If you can find the energy, because sometimes women, you can be going so much, you can be going, because it's your natural state to go, until something knock you down off your feet, until a sickness knock you down, or until God have to send a pandemic to wake you up, to show you that you're not superwoman, to show you to unpack that guilt, unloose some of that guilt, make you wake up and realize you can't be thinking like you're still living in the 1960s, but you're present in the 20th century. You're present. Things have changed. You're in the 20th century, so you got to change your mindset. You can't be a stay-at-home mom. You can't have a stay-at-home mindset when you working 40 hours a week. You got to change your mindset. You got to pivot. You got to pivot. If you working 40 hours a week, it's impossible for you to have that same energy to come home and cook and take care of a house when you got to work 40 hours a week too. Then you got to come home. Then you have to help the children with homework. Then you got to make sure you signing all the papers. You making their appointment. You put yourself last. You last. Your appointments are last. You haven't gone and got your mammogram. You don't even know if you have breast cancer or not because you haven't gotten your checkup. You don't know what's going on inside of your cervical. You haven't got your well woman visit because you're so busy taking care of your husband. You're taking care of the kids. You're making sure the house clean. You're doing all the things that society say you're supposed to do, and all while your body's breaking down. You don't gain weight. Your mental is not well. You're not well mentally. You're not well mentally, but you're supposed to carry the weight. Then you will have somebody who's not appreciative. Just the whole thing. You will have somebody that's not appreciative and don't see what you're doing. And you'll have someone that what you do is still not enough. The pride and the arrogance of a person that can't see the value that you bring and act as if that's what you supposed to do. All while they just worry about themselves. All while they just worry about themselves, getting themselves ready for work, taking care of what they got going on, fulfilling their lustful desires, trying to manage their side chicks and all this other stuff, their habits, all while you're taking on the load and you sitting there keep trying to keep everything together. keep the house functioning and running like a well-oiled running machine until you finally have a mental breakdown and say, you know what, this ain't working. This ain't working for me. You can't do that as a woman. You got to find balance. You shouldn't have to tell a grown up to share the burden, to share the responsibilities. It's a partnership. You shouldn't have to remind a grown up to say, let me go help my wife. Let me make sure she all right. This is why people are opting to do it by themselves because they're doing it by themselves anyway. People are opting to be by themselves because they're doing it alone anyways. They just got another person there with them sharing space, adding more baggage and drama and trauma just in a space. You just there. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. And that's don't make that normal. Don't normalize that. That's not normal. Not normal at all. Not normal. Don't normalize that. There's nothing wrong with different seasons. The other person carrying the load, the other person picking up the weight. That's what a partnership is for. A partnership is to when one is not at one because both should be at 100%. There's no 50-50. Both should be at 100%. But if one is at 80% because they're dealing with grief, they got grief in the family, they lost a loved one, is that other's partner responsibility to carry the weight, to carry that other 20% for them. So they got to carry 120 when the other person's only operating at 80. If that person lose their job, you be like, all right, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll pick up extra hours at work. That's a partnership until you can find something else. This is what partnership is. It's not 50-50. I don't believe in 50-50. I believe in people bringing 100-100. And you may be at 70 at different seasons. Because although we're a partner, we still have individual issues. We still have our own family issues. A partnership should be consistent, should be consistent. And it's not going to be perfect, but it should be okay. This is a different season. We're going through this in this season. I lost my job. So guess what? Wife picks up extra hours. Or the wife borrow money from her 401k or whatever, or vice versa. No one person should have to carry the load all the time. And people have to remember, don't get selfish. If you do have to carry the load, you got to remember when your partner carry the load for you. It's not a comparison. As long as that person's not sitting around and just having you doing it just because they're not trying. No. I remember there was a time when I was married, during a relationship, there was a time when my husband was working seasonal. And when you working seasonal, you don't get the full benefits. So guess what? I was working full time. So guess what? I get the benefits. That's a partnership. That's how it's supposed to be and stay. Not one person carrying the load all the time. Then when he start working full time, he carried the benefits because you see which insurance is cheaper, where you can save money. That's how it's supposed to be. It don't supposed to be one person just sitting worried about themselves and the other person taking on the load. Some people sometimes can get selfish and they forget what a partnership is. You know why they forget? Because they don't veer it off into their own selfish desires. They're being entertained by something else, forgetting what they got at home because of lust and lustful desires. This is where self-love and self-care come in. You can't make nobody be nowhere where they don't want to be, and you can't make nobody do nothing they don't want to do. When it gets to the point to where a person don't want to be there, they don't want to be faithful, they don't want to, just let them be, let them go and be and do what they want to do. That's when the course has ran its what it is. The situation has ran its course. You got to learn to release people when you know it's time. Don't release them in hate and anger and malice. Just release them. Release them to go do and be free. You don't have to sit and fight with them. You don't have to sit and beg. You don't have to sit and plead because apparently they don't want to be there. You don't have to get mad at nobody else. That's what I never understood. I never understood it. If you are with someone, if you with someone and they go and entertain another person, your problem shouldn't be with the other person. Somebody need to hear this. Your problem shouldn't be with the other person. Even if they know you married, even if they know you're in a relationship, your commitment and your agreement is not with that other person. Your agreement is with your partner. You should handle your partner. You should handle your partner. You should deal with them, not handle. You should address them. Never go confront somebody else who's not in agreement with you, who's not in the contract with you, who's not in the relationship with you. That's not, no. You need to deal with your partner. And at that point, if that's against your boundaries, at that point you should just walk away at that point. But sometimes people stay for whatever reason. But no, at that point, that should be your exit. But no, sometimes people stay, and then guess what? Not saying that people don't change, but some people they just get worse. Exactly. Don't blame somebody else. The person should be confronted. If I'm out there doing something, come to me. Don't go to the other person. Don't go to side piece Keith. Don't go to the side piece Nelly. Don't go to Keisha. It ain't Keisha's fault. It's not side piece Keith's fault either. They didn't make the vow with you. You go to the person who make the vow with you. And at that point, you got a decision to make. And everybody's situation is different. Everybody's state for different reasons. I'm not here to judge and talk down on people because I got my own story. But the point is, the person that's accountable is the person in the agreement with you. Don't take your anger out on someone else. That anger you have should go to that person. And if the person don't want to be there, release them. Release them. Don't take yourself through that turmoil. I don't know why we feel like, you got to stay somewhere. I don't know where we get this from. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just release them. That stuff you do when you don't know better. When you truly don't know better, you haven't tamed that lustful spirit. You haven't dealt with your demons. That's the stuff you do. But once you become of age, and I mean, when I mean of age, I'm not saying of age and years, because we know a lot of people who 40, 50, 60, and they still out here trying to pimp and mess around. I'm not talking about age and number of years. I'm talking about age and emotional maturity. You got to be emotionally mature. hmm That's what I'm talking about. Emotionally. And a lot of people emotionally are not mature because they haven't dealt with their childhood trauma. They're still having adult temper tantrums. The thing, the worst thing for me to see is an adult having a temper tantrum. I used to work for a boss. I never forget. Back in 2004, I used to work for someone, and it was my first time because I was still young, back then too, and I was taught people who are older are wiser. That was my belief. That was my system. But I had to learn quickly that's not always true. But I worked for a manager when things didn't go his way. This man used to have a temper tantrum, an adult temper tantrum, and like a 4-year old. And I never seen anything like that. And I used to laugh because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like this. Oh my God, this man is falling out. I mean, he used to be shoving papers around and moving things. I'm like, oh, that was my first time experiencing an adult temper tantrum. I didn't know it was a such thing because I thought adults knew how to control themselves, their emotions. And the more I kept living, oh, the more I started seeing that foolishness. I'm like, oh my goodness, children do that. So emotionally, I learned that people don't be mature. That was the strangest thing to see a full grown man as a manager. You will sue your whole supervisor, and you having a temper tantrum like a 5-year old. And to be honest, oh Lord, mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I mean the whole tantrum. Never, I was like, there was a lot of things that shocked me in the workplace that went against what I was taught. 'Cause my grandmother taught me, you know, like I said, old is wiser. So you're looking for people who are of age to act as if they're of age as far as maturity, because I don't believe that you know you can put limits on how people present themselves as far as how they dress. Because some people um, say that people should dress a certain way. I don't know. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in dressing scandalous either. At a certain age, like I don't believe in that. But you can't put limits on if people got style or not. At a certain age is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about with everything hanging out. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that if you're young. That's just my belief. That's just my belief because I believe how you dress is how you will be addressed. And it's just a societal thing. I know people want to say, well, I can dress how I want to, and nobody should be able to tell me. Yeah, that's true, you can. But society, the way society is, they're not going to see you as being respectable of yourself if everything is hanging out for people to see. If everything is sitting up and propped up and hanging out, they're not going to, it's just society. It's not a rule I made up. It's just society. I've noticed it with myself when I used to drink when I was younger, and I didn't have any, guidance like that. When I was young, I used to wear the little, what we call the little hot girl clothes, the little Nicki Minaj outfits. You know, um, when I was younger, I used to wear those little outfits because that was the norm. That was my environment, and I noticed that the attention that I got was not good attention from certain people. So I had to work on changing how I dress. I had to dress more, conservative and more laid back. I can still be nice looking without showing everything and having those short, excuse me, having those short shorts and stuff hanging out and all that. Stuff all propped up and greased and oiled. No, that's not for everybody to see. It's not for everybody to see. But I noticed the difference between the attention that I got when I used to dress like that than how I start dressing later. You know, so you have to be careful with that. Now you can dress how you want to dress, but you can't change society and how they see things and their beliefs. You can't change society as a whole. That's just how it is. I know we want to do what we want to do, and you can, but I'm just telling you, that's the type of attention you will draw to yourself. Is negative attention, and unfortunately, you can be a sweet and nice person, but if you dress a certain way, people are going to approach you in a way, and then if you say, try to reject or deny someone, like, no, you can't, don't look at me like that, or you can't touch me. They're going to unfortunately get upset and disrespect you. It's just how society is. No, it shouldn't be that way. I don't agree with that, but that's how it is. Um, yeah. But yeah, I gotta go. But make sure you're taking care of yourself, making sure you're doing the work on you. It always goes back to you. Always goes back to you. People are only going to do what you allow. So if you allow people to disrespect you, that's what they're going to do. If you don't have no boundaries, people are going to disrespect you. If you don't tell people no, that they can't do certain things, they're going to keep doing it. So you got to be able to open your mouth, be confident, stand up for yourself, and treat yourself how you want others to treat you. That's where it starts. If you treat yourself kind, people won't disrespect you. What I find is people don't be treating themselves kind. They don't treat themselves kind. They don't love themselves, so they allow people to do anything they want. We do. I've done it. We be afraid to speak up. We be afraid to say things because we don't treat ourselves well. But when you start treating yourself well, you will put a stop to a lot of things. A lot of things people won't do in your life. A lot of things you won't let people do in your life. When you start valuing yourself, you can't force other people to value you. You can't force anyone else to see your worth. You have to know your worth. You know your worth and value by cutting people off the first time. See, the thing is, we give people too many chances. And yes, everybody in life, they need chances. I say you need two. First time, you probably didn't know. The second time, you got to go. You heard me? The first time, you probably didn't know. So I need to tell you, the second time, you got to go. It shouldn't be a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. The more chances you give people, the more they're going to disrespect you, because they realize you don't have any respect for yourself. If you allow a person to keep disrespecting you, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. They may stop a little bit, but they're going to do it again. Things will get better. They'll cry, have a temper tantrum. Y'all seem like you're getting well, getting over it. to do it again. You tell that boss when you're at home, don't call you because you're not getting paid. They do it 2 times, block, but they don't pay you for that. They don't pay you to take away from your personal time. You got to have boundaries. Boundaries. Hmm. Let me go. I gotta go. So that's what I want to talk to you all about. Y'all be blessed. Hope to see you on Saturday. Saturday, I have two free classes. The Parenting 101 at 11. That's free. It's via Zoom. The information is on the community page. And then we have the Chosen Ones Fat Grapes membership um, at 7 p.m. that same day. And the registration is on the community tab for all the paid subscribers. So I hope to see you there. I hope you come to the class. Both classes are um, an hour, hour and a half. But I said it for an hour, but just in case we may have to go over. But I won't waste too much of your time. And then the meet and greet is on the 19th as well at 7 p.m. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you there so we can meet, get to know one another. I'm excited about that. And also, you could take advantage of the self-help masterclass that I have on my homepage. It's only $33.33, 333. And I'm sure that that will help you all. If you all purchase the class, share your testimonies. Share your testimonies on the class, what you like, what you didn't like. That's okay. I can take constructive criticism. I'm here to improve everything. Everything can be improved, right? That's why I discounted the class for 33.33 to give the ones who would like to purchase it, because when I did the live master class, it was $97. So I discounted it to $33 because it's the pre-recorded class. It's not the live class. So you can't really ask questions. But that class is there available on the about page. You can click on the self-healing masterclass. Also, there are free resources over there. There are free resources. You got the Women's Self-Help Guide to taking responsibility for her happiness, success, and freedom. And that guide is a free guide that just, you know, have some questions for you to ask yourself and answer. That is a start to your self-healing journey, because sometimes we don't ask the right questions. When we're trying to start a journey, a healing journey, we don't ask the right questions. So there are 30 questions over in that free guide that you can ask yourself and answer. You can answer that. That'll help you get some introspective, like some, some interpersonal clarity. Helps you get some clarity over there. So take advantage of the resource. Also, I have, if you're a business owner or if you're looking to become a business owner in the future, I also have 10 daily affirmations that you can speak over your business. That is a free PDF sheet that you can download, and you can say those daily over your business. I use that for myself. Do I say them daily? No, but I say them often. I do say them often, right? But you can use that to remind yourself to speak those affirmations over your business, because what you speak about, you bring about. That's why you have to watch your words. You have to watch what you say out of your mouth, because your words will bring you a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will speak into existence what you say out of your mouth. You will speak your life out of your mouth. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. That's so true. I have to watch what I say. I used to then think before I speak. Now I think before I speak. Unless I'm coming here talking and sharing things with you. But when I speak over myself, I be careful. Very careful. And you are welcome, Nancy. Very careful. You got to be careful of what you say. So I'm learning to say my I am affirmations. I'm learning to, and this is a journey. That's why it's a step healing journey. I'm learning a lot of things because you get what you speak, and it's true. You get what you speak. It feels so good out here now under this area. I got up because I was tired of sitting down, and I'm getting ready to go. You get what you speak. I really can't see you all, see the chats and stuff. So, but I wanted to come share that with you all because I got to get ready to go. But be blessed. And also, I have some coaching sessions available only on Fridays for right now. I'm going to open more sessions up. Um, and it's an hour session. I had the 30-minute sessions, but now I only have hour sessions because I think we can get more out of the hour sessions than just the 30-minute sessions. Because by the time we get to talking, the session is over and we have not accomplished anything. So I think the 30-minute sessions are more conducive and helpful to the client. So I have those available too. And if you would like to book a session, you can go ahead and click on the About page as well, right? Where it says book session. And I talk to you just like this, just like we're family. Just like we're family. There's nothing different. I don't change my voice, nothing, you know, nothing is different. But me listening to you and helping you come up with your own resolution, also giving you some tips and advice on different things, but not being too um, intrusive or overbearing because you have to hear yourself. Sometimes people just need to hear themselves because they don't have anyone to really listen and understand. And I've been through quite a few things, so I'm very understanding. There was one time in my life, I think I was like 30. I think I was 30 years old, around 30. After I had my son, he's 12 now. But I was 31 and feeling like I was going through a midlife crisis. Like, because when you grow up young, that's why with me, because of my experience, I made sure my children enjoyed their youth, their teen years. I didn't put so much responsibility on them because when I was growing up, I had a lot of adult responsibilities and it was good and bad at the same time. It was good because I learned how to do things quicker. But at the same time, it I couldn't enjoy my teen years. Although I had some fun and a lot of friends, I still had a lot of adult responsibilities. So I didn't want that for my children. I wanted my girls to experience being a teenager without them having to worry about paying bills and making doctor's appointments and all that I didn't want that for them. I didn't want that for them. So they got to enjoy their teen years. Now that they're young adults, 18 and 20, now I'm teaching them more of how to be an adult, a young adult, and be more responsible for themselves. Which I was teaching them in their teens, but at the same time, not giving them the burden of being responsible for someone else. So because a lot of us, you know, who's my age, 80s babies, they we grew up quick because we had to take care of siblings, and that's too much. That's too much for a child to take on that responsibility. Some people disagree, but I mean agree, and some people disagree, but I think it's just too much for a child, especially if they don't have to, right? I believe in working together because if you're a single mom, and you just need the extra help and you depending on your children, I don't think it's their responsibility. I don't think it's your son's responsibility to be the father to their siblings and all that. I don't think that's right. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's your, you know, I don't agree with that. It's okay to help and make sure they get home, but the whole burden shouldn't be on that child. That's why a lot of um people are dealing with mental health issues because they had to grow up so quick and all the responsibilities and things were thrown on them to manage the house, to be the mom. If you were raised by a single, it was just too much. Children can't let children be children. I think I did a good job at that. I let them enjoy their teen years because We didn't repeat no cycles. They got to enjoy their teen years. I was doing grown up things in my teens that I shouldn't have been doing. I let them be girls and you know have little friend cat fights with their friends and not have to worry about just stuff, the world. I didn't want that for them, for me. That's why I say when you come to the parents one-on-one class, the class is not trying to teach you how to be a parent, because everybody's situation is different. It's more of, us being held accountable, and it's more of helping you to relieve some of that parental guilt. A lot of you got parental guilt because how some of your children turned out, and you felt like you gave them everything. You felt like you did what you were supposed to do as a mom. You just have all this guilt, and I want to help you to relieve and alleviate yourself of some of that guilt to realize we all have our own journeys. We all have our own journeys. You got to remember your journey. You had your journey, so your children, they're going to have their journey. And your job as a parent, if they want to take your advice, because sometimes the kids don't want your advice, they don't want your advice. Let's be honest, tell the truth, shame the devil. Your job is to guide them. Your job is to correct them along the way so they can learn from their mistakes. And hopefully their mistakes are not detrimental, you know, when they become young adults. But you got to let them learn. You got to let them live. Yeah, let them live. It's okay. You got to relieve yourself. Relieve yourself and you pray and you let them live their life. So you can be free to live your life. Some of y'all are not even living because you're so worried about your children. You're worried about your kids and how they're going to turn out. Just remember, God say everything. If you keep praying, everything will be used for his glory, for an expected end. It'll all work out. You just got to trust him. So come to that parenting class. It's going to be a class filled with some information just to help you as a mom. And I'm going to share my story, some of my story, because sometimes people just think they're the only ones going through things. And no, you're not the only ones going through things. But the thing about the difference between me and everybody else, I learned how to manage. I learned how to deal and let go. I've learned how to not let things, you know, break me down. Although I went through, you got to change your mindset. Change your mindset. So that's what that class is for, to help you change your mindset on how you look at things. How you look at things. Okay. So I'll see you all Saturday. I may be back sometime this week, but I will definitely see you all at Saturday, 11 a.m., August the 19th for the parenting one-on-one class, and for the members, Saturday, August the 19th at 7 p.m. Right? So I look forward to seeing you all on Zoom. So for the members, listen, we're going to be on camera. So don't come hiding. You won't be able to turn your camera off. You may be able to turn it to the wall or something, but come prepared. We need to see your face. That's why it's a meet and greet, so we can see who we are talking to, right? See who we're talking to, and just to get to know each other so we can put a name to the face, okay? So we can put a name to the face. This is going to be live. I'm not going to pre-record it because I want it to be live. I'm not going to record it, I meant, because I want it to be a live class. It's like a meet and greet, as if we were meeting at Starbucks for a gathering or something. Okay? So I see you all at 7 on August the 19th.